As you know, late last year, the Pentagon opened all military jobs, including combat, to women. So it makes sense that since all men are legally required to register for the draft, now women should be mandated to as well. And since it makes sense, obviously House and Senate members would never do it. In fact, just last week, they removed such a requirement from a defense appropriations bill. 2 days later, the Obama administration announced its support for women registering with the Selective Service. Now, why would I even bother to mention such a purely symbolic act? Because it comes just as James Mad Dog Mattis is poised to become Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense. I'll leave charges he left men behind in Afghanistan and concern about militarization of foreign policy to Senate confirmation hearings. But Mattis's ascension makes it much likelier that more American troops on the ground will be committed to Iraq and Afghanistan, according to a report in the New York Times. So let me connect the dots. Not only should women register for the draft, but Congress should consider reinstating the draft itself for the first time since 1973. Stay with me, because this is symbolic too, just as it is when Harlem's Congressman Charlie Rangel files such a proposal every couple of years. Most of Congress doesn't really care if members of the all-volunteer army are put in harm's way. They don't care because the American people don't care, because most of our sons and daughters are not among them. If there was a draft and we thought our kids might be fighting, we'd of course be engaged. And if we were, Congress would be too. Maybe even enough to do their job and debate our policy in that part of the world, or even vote to approve the use of military force rather than simply relying on the authorization to invade Iraq 14 long years ago. But if recent history is a guide, there won't be a draft. Women will fight but not be required to register, and Congress will continue to stick its collective heads in the sand as some bureaucrats send someone else's loved one into battle. What do you think? Email us, tweet us, share your thoughts.